Josh Cashflow tonight, y'all. Now he went from a nurse to trading options. I believe stock options online, where he's made thousands of dollars in a matter of minutes. And he's going to be sharing with us how he went from a nurse to that. He's also going to share a little bit about his life because he hadn't always been where he is today. He even teaches people now what he knows, and they make money in a matter of minutes, and then they can just take the rest of the day out. I'm not going to take up a lot of time because this is something that everybody can do. Even when I was in federal prison, there were guys there that traded options out here on the streets that made millions of dollars. Now, this is something that we have not been privy to have knowledge for this, but he's going to be breaking this down, and y'all definitely want to get y'all's pen and paper out tonight because he's going to share a lot. So Josh, can you just tell us how it all began, but from childhood on up to where you're at now?
Wow. Wow. You want to go real deep, my roots in Nigeria. So guys, for those who don't know, my name is Josh, AKA Josh Cashflow. And for me, it started when I was, 6 or 7, I was in Nigeria. I came to America for the first time. My parents had told me it was the land of opportunity. It was the land of milk and honey. They were used to use all these biblical terms to describe America, but they didn't tell me that when I came to America that they're going to call me names like African booty scratcher or whatever the case may be. So I had a rough childhood. My accent was very thick, and I still have some of my accent now. And my mom was very traditional. She was a nurse, okay? She was an LPN. She worked 40 hours a week, even actually 80 hours a week, okay? And I barely saw my mom when I was growing up. Like, she worked night shifts. So when I was going to school was when she came in to take a shower and go to her next job. So I always saw money growing up as far as a challenge in my family. And when I got to high school, I told my mom I wanted to be a chef. My mom said, "You're crazy. Chefs can't pay bills." I'm like, "Mom, I really love cooking. I love to eat. It's a perfect marriage made in heaven." Long story short, she said, "Get your ass to school. You're going to be a nurse, okay? Cooking ain't it. If you want to cook, that's your hobby. You want to make money, you're a nurse." I said, and for those who are African household, or if your mom or your grandma, if they were very strict, you knew what they said went, right? Can I get a witness? Okay, type in the chat. I don't know if I can see the chat, but if you guys know that, parents will have their way, type in the chat. Let me know how you feeling about this. But yeah, so my mom pretty much told me I'll be a nurse. I went to school. I was a nurse. I became an ER nurse. Funny enough, I was working with patients who were critical, people whose lives literally was in the palm of my hands. And I felt good every day I went to serve people. And I felt good when I went home, but I would look at my check and I calculated that every single day I worked a 12-hour shift, I would only make $125 a day. Not an hour, in a day. A 12-hour shift, I would take 12 hours of my time. And after taxes, I would make $125 a day. I thought that wasn't fair. If you think that's fair, that's fine with you. I thought that wasn't fair. I'm like, I just saved somebody's life. And I finally had my last straw when a patient who I literally he came in, he was drunk the night before, it was during the holidays. He was detoxing. Like, if he hadn't had help, he would no longer be here. I saved his life. And the next morning, I was expecting a thank you. He pissed on me and told me to go and F myself. Okay. And after that, I was like, okay, this isn't it. I need to find an alternative career path to making money. So like a lot of people, I tried different things. I went into real estate. I did decent in real estate, but it wasn't until I discovered options and stock options and things really changed for me because I realized and I learned how to multiply money. Okay. And for those taking notes, there's an important lesson, an important note to actually take right here. Okay. The intention of God is always multiplication. And not only multiplication is exponential multiplication. But what do I mean? Okay, when you eat an apple, is there one seed in there or many seeds? Okay, when you eat an orange, is there one seed in there or many seeds in there? Okay, when a father and a mother get together and have children and grandchildren, okay, is it just one, or does one set of grandparents can have 50 grandchildren? Okay, so that's the law of exponential growth. So I need to believe in the law of exponential growth. And I was like, listen, I need to find something that gives me the ability to tap into the principle of exponential growth. And nothing does like that like options trading. Why? Because it allows you to leverage not only your money, but it allows you to leverage your time, that you can make what you can think can take months or years in minutes. And when I say minutes, I mean minutes. I was hanging out with my friend on Wednesday, Elijah, literally right in front of me. In 20 minutes, he made $9,000 in the markets, $9,000. Okay, and this is profits. It's like he took that home. He wanted to go spend that. He wanted Chipotle. He was a little bit cheap with it. He didn't want to buy me Chipotle. I'm like, how you gonna go buy me Chipotle? You just made $9,000. That's another story for another time. But options let you leverage your time and your money and get infinite possibilities. So once I started options, I started trading options around 2013. I got really, really good at it. Options around 2018, 2019. And it's been, you know, how do you say, the rest is history from there. We have an options trading community where we teach people how to trade options, make money in minutes, and really get it and leverage your time and your money to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time possible. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to learn how to make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time, go ahead, let me know in the chat, say, I'm ready.
Now, how did you get into the options? What made you, because you tried a lot of stuff, real estate and a lot of things. What made you even get into options? Who introduced you? How did it even come across your table?
Great question. So I was at home and a Facebook ad popped up and he said, this white guy was like, oh, I'm a boat guy and I will show you how to trade options and do the stock market. In around 2013, he said, come to Atlanta and spend a weekend with me and learn everything I know about options and stocks. So I bought that weekend, I showed up, and he had a package after that where he actually showed you guys how to trade options full time. So that was my education. It started with a Facebook ad. I clicked it. I watched the webinar. I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Okay, so I went to go and learn from him. He's actually a hedge fund trader. At that time, he was trading about $100+ million money he had under management. I'm pretty sure now he has a lot more. And he literally showed me like, this is what options are. This is how you can take advantage of options and make money. And there are different strategies and options. Like options is like school, okay? You can take the very basics, which is what we teach in our community, and make thousands of minutes, or you can go really advanced. You can get like a PhD in options. And I tell people like, no matter what level you are, no matter what tickles your fancy, there's something every single person can do with options trading, whether you're somebody who just wants to know a little bit about it or somebody who wants to know a lot about it, okay? So there's a very wide spectrum that you can learn and take advantage of to make money in your sleep, because obviously that's the point. You want to make money when you're, you know, when you're sleeping.
Now, what made you even believe that ad? Because a lot of times ads pop up and people don't believe it. I mean, I run ads and a lot of times I talk to people on the phone, they say, well, I thought you was a scam or it wasn't real. So what made you even think that that was real?
Great question. So I watched the guy's videos. Honestly, it was one of those things where I was like, it couldn't wait, it couldn't work. The initial weekend was like $1,000 or something like that. And I was like, okay, if I lose $1,000 learning or getting into a room to find an opportunity to potentially change my life, it's not going to be the end of the world. And that's one thing I want people to know. You have to bet on yourself. Like, period. You have to bet on yourself. Of course, I did research. I watched YouTube videos to make sure the guy was legit. But at the end of the day, it comes to taking a chance, right? You have to step out in faith and take a choice. So that's what I did. I literally told, you know, back then, my wife, I said, hey, babe, I'm going to Atlanta. She was my girlfriend back then, actually. I said, hey, babe, I'm going to Atlanta. And then I told one of my best friends, I said, come with me. He said, yes. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Now, so y'all went. Did anybody not believe you when you, or just tried to discourage you when you told them you was going to do that?
Yes, did somebody, everybody, because they didn't understand it. Everybody kept telling me options is risky. Won't you lose your money? You know, that's a way to lose your money. Oh, options is gambling, and all these things about options that honestly weren't true. There's a lot of things that are risky. You just have to learn how to mitigate your risk. So a lot of people didn't even really know what I was up to. And for a long time, I kept it to myself. A long time, I didn't tell anybody. When I started making money, that's when I started showing people like, hey, options is a real thing. I'm making money. Look at what I'm doing. Maybe you want to tap into this. And it actually all came, you know, to a bind during the pandemic in 2020. Me and a couple of my friends, we were trading live on Zoom, just like this. We would get on every day. We would trade live. And it was a Zoom room just like this. And the community just kept growing. It was a free Zoom room. One day, 100 people, the next day, 200. At one point, we had up to 500 people in the Zoom room trying to trade options together. And that's when we were like, okay, we need to, make this more professional, create a company, create a schedule. But I think that a lot of people are hungry to learn something that's possible to change their lives. A lot of people just want to learn the tool set or the skill set. And if you give it a chance, it can actually change things for you. It can make your life better. It can give you the opportunity to grow wealth at a much rapid pace.
Now, when all those people was in that Zoom following your leads and making money, how did they feel?
It felt great, honestly. I can't even lie to you because it's extra validation. Like when you make money for yourself, you feel like, okay, I'm good at what I do. I know I'm making money for myself. But when other people are following you and making money with you in real time, it solidifies what you're doing. And also for all the haters, because everybody knows there's always going to be haters, it makes it like, okay, you guys don't even know what you're talking about. So at this point, when I talk to people about options, it's not even a thing about, oh, this is going to benefit me in any way. It's more so like, hey, this is something that can change your life. Take advantage of it or don't take advantage of it. But it's something that you should know as somebody who's grown. Like if you're over the age of 27, 28, and you don't know about options, like you're behind. Like there's some charter schools, like I was on a co-op call with my wife earlier tonight. They're teaching first graders about blockchain and Bitcoin and things of that nature. Like these things are being taught in other communities, and it's time for our community to get access to that kind of knowledge. And it's never too late or too soon to start. It's all about understanding. I was actually telling my wife the other day, we were talking to my 4-year-old son, and there was something that she was telling me like, hey, I don't think he understands it. I don't understands that yet. He's not old enough. And I said, what do you mean he's not old enough? I don't think age has anything to do with it. I think it's your level of comprehension. Okay. And what happens is that when kids learn things at an earlier age, or young adults learn things at an earlier age, because you learned it earlier, they call you a genius. And it's not because you're smarter than anybody else. It's just because you understood it faster than anybody else. So I always tell people, like, whatever you think is risky, give it a chance. Strive to understand it faster than everybody else. And believe it or not, because you learn and understand it first, you actually make the most money because it's first mover's advantage. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. Now, so you're working at the ER.
Mm-hmm.
When did you quit the ER?
Great question. So I worked at the ER for about 1.5 years. So that was 2016. I quit. And then I worked for a healthcare company for about two and a half years after that. And I just told them, like, listen, this isn't working.
Why? Why wasn't it working? What was the healthcare company like? That job?
So it was insurance, and they pretty much had me like on the phones visiting doctors and things of that nature. It's actually a big company. I don't want to mention it because everybody knows what it is. But they were laying people off. That's the first thing. Like a coworker of mine called me and she was crying. Okay, and this is a top 10 company in the United States. It's not like a broke company. Like this is top 10 richest in the United States. And a coworker called me and she was literally devastated, almost crying. And she said, my position has been eliminated. I was like, what do you mean your position has been eliminated? She was like, I got a call today. My position has been eliminated. So I'm a man of faith. I was praying, and literally around that time, the Lord was telling me, like, Josh, it's time for you to leave your job. So I literally called my manager and I sent an email and I sent my resignation letter. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. So that's pretty much how I quit. I had, money from trading and things of that nature. I had savings. I think I had like 10 grand in savings in cash. So at this time, there was me, my wife, and 2 kids. So I was scared to death. I told my mom thought I was crazy. She said, you're Nigerian. You know what I'm talking about. She was like, you're leaving a stable nursing career. You have a wife and 2 kids and you gonna quit your job? Are you crazy? My dad was like, quit? What? And I told him, like, listen, you guys can't convince me. I'm gonna do it. God told me to do it. I'm gonna trust them. I know how to trade. I have these skills. I have businesses. So I did it. I quit. And since then, honestly, I've never looked back. And I'm so grateful for even that step of faith that it took me to quit. And I actually found out 2 months later, after I quit, 90% of my team was fired anyways. So listen, I had to go. God was gonna get me out any which way. But yeah, I took the step of faith, I quit. And since then I was like, okay, make money on my computer, make money on my laptop. And I have other businesses as well, but trading is a very big source of income for me, for sure.
So you trading, what would your day go? What would your day be like?
Okay, when I first started, I spent a lot of time learning. Like I would say, I would be in the markets from 9 a.m. to like 4:30 p.m. Like every single day, I absorbed as much information as possible until my skills got to the point where I am now. So right now, I trade maybe 1 hour a day, if that. Like on a really, really long day too. Like if I'm trading for 2 hours, that's a long day. That's like that's a really long day. Okay. There's some days I'm done in 15 minutes, believe it or not. So literally, once you learn the skill set, time is not the factor, and time is not what determines what makes money or not. And that's something I had to get out of from like working 9 to 5. Like, oh, did I put in hours today? Am I going to make money? That's not how the market works. In the market, you get paid for skills. So everything's shoulder and above. That's what you're getting paid for. So once you have that skill set, it doesn't take a lot of time to make money. Once you see an opportunity, you take action, you make your money, you're done. Nobody's forcing you to stay there. So sometimes I'm in 9:45, I'm done. I close my eyes out for the day. I'm going to hang out with friends and family. That's what I do.
And then what do you do the rest of the day? You don't work the hour or 15 minutes or whatever. What do you do the rest of the day?
Great question. I used to work out. I'm starting to get a little bit more weight back. I did keto. Honestly, I just hang out with family. I do other businesses, whatever I want to do, honestly. I mean, we traveled to Jamaica not too long ago, me and my wife on a vacation. I went to Atlanta last weekend. I joined a lot of masterminds and mentorships. You know, I saw you, Chin, in an event in Atlanta. So pretty much whatever I want. My day can get pretty boring because I have to find stuff to do to fill it. But what excites me now is just showing other people what to do. So I spend a lot of time showing people how to trade. People want to do coaching calls with me. People want to ask me like tips and techniques and things of that nature. And that's pretty much what my day is full of now.
Now, when you tell people what you do and the hours you put in, what do they say?
So when I tell people about the hours I put in, the number one thing I always hear is, I don't want to be in front of a computer screen that long. That's the number one answer I always get. I don't want to be in front of a computer screen that long. And I tell them, like, trading is like any other skill, okay? The better you get at it, the less time it requires. Like, Chin, or anybody in the audience, have you ever gotten into the car, you're driving on the highway, you're thinking about something, you come back to your senses and you're like, how the heck did I drive 5 minutes and go up the highway ramp without thinking about it? Has that ever happened to you, Chin, before?
Yeah.
That's literally what it's like. Once you put the time into learning and mastering the skill, the better you get. But what's also cool is that if you have somebody who's done it for a long time, they can give you shortcuts to save you a whole lot of time, okay? That's why somebody like Chin, I'm like, whatever he's teaching you guys, the time he's saving you, oh my God, you guys don't even know. You guys don't even understand the amount of time he's saving you guys because he's an expert at what he's doing. He's a master at what he's doing. So once you have that master show you how to do this thing, the speed of you understanding and learning grows exponentially faster.
But if they learn the skill set that you have, they really you talking about working 15 minutes or an hour a day. And I know that's possible because when I was in federal prison, it was guys, they did some insider trading, but a lot of them did options, calls, puts different things and made a ton of money legally.
Yep.
So now it's not a lot of people that look like us that do that. Why is that?
So there's a story out there that is purposefully has been put out to scare us away from the world of options trading. It's gambling. It's risky. If you put your money in the stock market, you're gonna what?
Lose it all.
Lose it. Look at that. How did you know what to say? It's literally has been programmed into your psyche that putting your money in the stock market is how you lose it, okay? But did you know that about 80% of the stock market right now is owned by the 10 wealthiest people in the United States, by the 10% of the wealthiest people in the United States? 80% of the market is owned by 10% of the people. Does that make sense? How did they accomplish that? How is that even accomplished? The only way that's accomplished is if there's a systematic campaign of misinformation to stop the general public from taking advantage of knowledge that's readily available to you. A lot of people haven't even heard about options until 2 years ago. Like you know about it, but a lot of you guys probably haven't heard about options before 2016. Like this is purposely kept away from you because they don't want you to take advantage of it. They literally want you to stay uninformed. Why? Because if you stay uninformed, they get to make more money and exclude you. And a lot of times they're taking your money. Because Warren Buffett, right? Everybody always says, oh, Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the biggest options traders in the world. Literally last year, 2020, he made $7.1 billion with a B on options trading. Did you know about that?
No.
Okay, if you see him on TV, you will never hear him talk about options. Like very rarely would you hear him talk about options. Okay, and I understand why he does it. He's trying to protect you, quote unquote, from risk because he knows you can't, quote unquote, handle risk because he wants the average American to follow the 40-40-40 plan. Okay, but if you want an average income, if you want extraordinary income, you have to do extraordinary things. And for you to do that, you need to learn extraordinary information. So what you have to do, every single thing that you've heard about before about it's risky, you need to challenge that thought. Where did that thought come from? It's risky. Did your mama tell you it was risky? Did your dad tell you it was risky? Like, where did you hear that from? It's all about information. Driving is risky. To be perfectly honest, driving is one of the riskiest things we do every single day. We go onto the road with thousands of people we've never met. Some of them just came from the club. Some of them just came from the bar. Some of them are drunk. We don't even know who's who. And then on worse of that, we gotta get on the highway with them. And if you live in Baltimore or New York or Atlanta, it's even worse because the traffic is crazy. And some of these drivers, they need Jesus, right? You guys are getting on the road every single day with these people, and you never think to yourself, "Oh, this is risky. I'm gonna get off the road. This is risky." Why? Because you've been taught that this is an essential skill to life, and even though it was risky, you thought everybody does it. So I have to learn how to drive. Like it doesn't make sense not to learn how to drive. The same way you think it doesn't make sense not learning how to drive is the same way you have to think about financial literacy. It's the same way you have to think about options. It's the same way you have to think about, learning about how to, master your money, because a lot of people where money was commonplace to them, they don't want you learning the skills and the trade, because what happens is that they get to keep a lot of that money to themselves, all in the disguise of it's risky. Guys, like throw that word out of your vocabulary. Like if you learn anything from me today, throw that word out of your vocabulary. Instead of it's risky, I want you to say I'm uninformed. That's your new vocabulary. Okay, if a new option is presented to you, do not say it's risky, say I'm uninformed. Okay, get informed and then say, hey, is this right for me or not? It's a yes or no decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now, do you tell them like, when you know something is almost a slam dunk? Because when I was locked up, when I got out, it was a couple of guys that they were there for insider trading and some Wall Street stuff, but I became friends. And a couple of times over the years, they had called me and said, take your money and go put it in this. One of them was Qualcomm. I'll never forget that. This was like
Qualcomm, crazy.
Years ago. And this man, one of my friends, he said, take all the money you got and go buy this Qualcomm. Do it now. And I said, all right. And I bought it. Now, I don't know how you do about this information or what, but so you remember Qualcomm?
Yeah, I know Qualcomm. I traded now. Yeah, Qualcomm is a great company.
So do you give the people tips? Like when you feel something is just going to be a slam dunk almost?
We do. So it's called high probability trading. We put the risk to reward, quote unquote, in our favor. For example, if we know Amazon has earnings in 3-4 weeks, right? Let's say next month Amazon has earnings. I'll give you a perfect example, FedEx or UPS. It's about to be holiday time. So what's going to happen to FedEx or UPS? They're going to get what? Really? They're going to get busy. Okay. In our community 2 weeks ago, we said, everybody get into FedEx and UPS contracts. Okay. It's literally holiday time. It's like a no-brainer. The stock is going to go up. Okay. Every holiday, the stock goes up. So we bought options contract. Do you know we bought that contract 2 weeks ago? We've doubled our money already. in 2 weeks. Whatever we put into FedEx and UPS, we doubled our money. So when we see those call outs and we see those opportunities, we let the community know, like, hey, FedEx, UPS. Okay, we told them about Amazon before their earnings come out. There's certain news that come out there and we say, okay, this stock is probably going to go up. And so if we think so, might as well get the options as well. And a lot of it is actually common sense. Like if you really think about it, around this time of the year, what companies do really well? Well, shipping companies do really well. Well, gaming companies do really well. Okay, AMD went up 700% in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, because games need chips. So the chips that they make go into the games, and all those things are being called out in the community. Let people know, like, hey, this is what we're playing today. This is what we're getting into. These are the options that we're trading. Feel free to get in with us.
Now, how much money does a person need to have? What's the minimum they can have?
Great question. So with TD Ameritrade, you can start out with $50 if you want to, but the real question you want to ask me is, how much money do I need to have to make some real money? Well, great question, Chin. I would say if you start out with $1,000 to $2,000, that's a great start. And with that, you should be able to make at least $100 a day. Okay, if you have a $1,500 account, you can make $100 a day. Now that seems really small, but if you multiply that out over a month, that's an extra $2,300 a month. If I told you you could trade for 1 hour a day and make an extra $2,300 a month, would you take me up on that deal?
Of course.
Great. Now, what if I told you, well, in month 2, maybe you make another $2,300? Would you take me up on that deal?
Surely would.
What if I tell you, well, month 3, you're getting pretty good about that. You're getting pretty good at this. Month 3, you're going to make $3,500 this month. Would you do that?
Yes. Okay.
Let's say 10 months down the line, you've been doing this. Let's actually say 5 months down the line, you've been doing this. Hey, what about month 8? You're getting really, really good. You're going to make $50,000 this month. Would you take me on that?
I surely would. That sounds really good.
Now, it sounds crazy, but that's what happened to one of our students. Within 8 months, she went from making a couple $100s a day to making 50K months in profits, cash. Victoria said, do you suggest trading on Robinhood? No. And a O. Okay. Just that slow? No. Okay. Robinhood is a free platform. So because it's a free platform, there's some advantages and some disadvantages to trading contracts. Number one, the price they give you is not the price it is for everybody. If they tell me to buy something for $2.10, they're going to sell it to you for $2.20 just because Robinhood is free. And because I get in and you got in later, I'm already in profits. You paid to get me in profits. And we might have bought it at the exact same time. That's what Robinhood does. If you're going to trade options, get a professional account, Thinkorswim, Webull, a lot of them, just not Robinhood. Please, no Robinhood. Please do not do it.
Somebody said, so what's the best trading platform?
Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade.
TD Ameritrade.
Okay, they actually even give you a paper account so you can practice trading with like, they'll give you fake money that you can actually trade with as if it's real money. And it gives you the feeling of trading. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you can practice as if you had real money.
Exactly. And that's where we tell beginners, start with that. And I'll give you guys a tip. If you're a beginner, learn how to trade 2 things, SPY and QQQ. If you master those 2, you'll be very successful. You don't need anything else but SPY and QQQ. SPY is the S&P 500. QQQ is pretty much the tech. Then that's the tech. Huh?
You ever do you scalp? Do scalping?
I do scalp them. Yes, I do. That's my favorite trading. So I get in and out within minutes.
Okay. So you said that's your favorite trader.
It's my favorite, seriously. I trade SPY. 90% of my trades are in SPY. 90%. Okay, if you master SPY, you don't need to trade anything else. SPY is a combination of pretty much the 5 biggest companies in America. It has the most liquidity. It's open Monday through Friday, and it provides what we call 0-day expirations, which allows you to multiply your money much quicker. And you can buy contracts for as little as $100. So if you're practicing, you can do one contract at a time. Okay, after you paper trade, then you can go into trading spot. Somebody says, do I buy crypto? Yes, I do buy crypto, okay? So my stock trading account has become my wealth fund. What do I mean by that? I have a very simple formula. If I make $1,000 today, I'm going to take out 500, and I'm going to take out of that 500, 250 goes into crypto, 250 goes into long-term stock. And I have another account for real estate. I'll make $2,000 profit today, 50% goes into crypto, 35% goes into long-term stocks. I make 5,000 tomorrow, 50% go to crypto, 25% to long-term stocks. It's very mathematical. So literally what's happening is that my trading is funding my investments. So even if all you're doing is making $100 a day and you're pumping that into investments, you're not spending it on crazy stuff, on car exchange, jewelry, or anything like that. You're using it to fund your investments. How many know in 2 years, if all you did for the rest of your life is making $100 a day? And I'm telling you now, okay, I could get a 15-year-old to make $100 a day. Seriously, if I can't teach you that, I'm in the wrong business. Okay, if all you did was make $100 a day and put an extra $2,000 a month into any investment, within a year or two, your life will be different. You put, let's say the first month you make 2,000, the next month you make 2,000. Guess what? You go get an Airbnb. Now you're making $1,000 in cash flow. Okay, 2 months later, you go buy a car on Turo. 2 months later, okay, you go to Chin, hey Chin, I have 2K for you. Where should I put it? 2 months later, you put 2K into crypto. 2 months later, it doesn't even matter what you put it into. You begin to create forward momentum of your money, and that's the key. You want your money to keep moving forward. So what I do in my trading, I use that to fund my investments. I pay bills, of course, but I use that to fund my investments, anything extra. So if you have a day job, for example, or you're cutting hair, whatever you're doing, okay, as you're starting to trade, as you're starting to make money, use that to build a wealth fund for yourself. Okay, if you have to use it to pay bills, go ahead and do that. You have your bills section where you use it to pay bills, but make sure you're creating a wealth fund from that. Okay, you're taking profits and you're putting into different vehicles. You're putting it into crypto. You're putting it into long-term stocks. You're putting it into real estate, and you're just keeping that money moving. What platform do I go to for FedEx?
I guess to trade or to learn to buy and trade on the FedEx.
Oh, I use Thinkorswim. FedEx is FDX. Okay. And I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I giving financial advice. I don't know your situation. Please consult your CPA and accountant before you take any trade. Let me make sure I say that. I have to memorize this whole spiel now before they start telling me stuff.
Now, what about people that say they tried trading and they just was losing money? Why is that?
Okay. So a lot of times traders lose money, number one, because they're learning from YouTube. That's the first thing. YouTube can teach you a lot. There's a lot of information on YouTube, true, but YouTube can never simulate the emotional management and the adrenaline of real trading. Facts, okay? Number two, okay, people don't have a specific technique or a specific setup that they use. All my trades happen with 3 or 4 setups. If I don't see these 4 things, I don't get into a trade. Every single day, I go through my progressions like a quarterback. Once I see a setup, I take it. If that setup is not there, I don't trade. Many people don't have that type of system around trading. I have a trading system. Number 3, no risk management. A lot of people say, I'm either going to be rich today, or I'm going to the doghouse. It's one or the other, okay? You need to have a system to manage risk. What do I mean by that, okay? Don't trade more than 10 to 20% of your account once you're starting. Paper trade first. Trade only SPY. There's so many tips I can give you as a beginner trader. Number 4, no community. You're trading by yourself. Trading is not a solo sport. It's always better when you're trading with a community, especially when you're beginning, so you can have those training wheels that people are telling you like, hey, this is what I'm seeing in the market. Every morning, we literally talk about SPY. Oh, what do we think SPY is going to do today? Is it going to go up or down? Oh, what stop losses? What strike am I going to? There's a community, so you even feel more secure in your plays. Also, the admins are there telling you like, hey, this is what we're looking at today, okay? So number 5, is this 4 or 5? No trading journal. They take trades, but they don't record it, okay? I have a spreadsheet where the trades that I take, after I take them, I write them down. And I compare over time. Okay, remember I said there's only 4 trades I take? How do you think I came up with those 4? I didn't guess them. I didn't just have them in a dream. I didn't just wake up and say, oh, I'm just gonna only do this 4 and that's it. I have a trail of evidence and I see, okay, I've taken over 1,000 trades. And this is why I've gotten into all those trades. This is what has worked the most for me, okay? This particular setup has worked 85% of the time. So I'm just gonna do that setup. It's literally common sense, guys. But a lot of people are not recording their trade activity. They're just getting and getting out. And because of that, they can't self-reflect and self-correct.
So how long did it take you to get that system? It's almost, you remember Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, they had a pattern. And if you put that pattern, so how long did it take you to get that system?
Great question. So I would say it took me about 1.5 years, give or take, to get that system really down pat. Because at first, when I first started, like everybody, I didn't have a system. I wasn't recording everything until I became very disciplined. And also when I started to notice the patterns, like you said, you know, once I saw, okay, I've taken 100 trades, I didn't really see it then. Okay, 200 trades. Oh, okay, I'm starting to see a pattern, but how can I be sure? Once you get to 1,000 trades that you've recorded, you're gonna see a pattern. Okay, a lot of people don't even go that long to be able to even recognize the pattern in their trading. Okay, I was not gonna quit point blank, period. So I just kept doing it until I found what works. Okay, and guys, always be learning. Don't feel like you know everything. Always be learning. I'm still learning. As today, I'm still learning on new tricks, new tips, new ways to get ahead of the market.
Now, when they join your community, do you teach them that system? You have them 4 things?
Yep, week 3 setup. Yep, week 3 in our program. You get all 4. And I break it down to you like a 3-year-old. Guys, this is literally what the course says because I already recorded it. Guys, I'm going to tell you a little secret, okay? You don't need to do a million things when trading. You only need 4 things, and here they are. Thing number 1, I write down a piece of paper. And I'll tell you this is what it is. 9 EMA bounce. I just gave you guys a tip right there. Thing number 2, okay, H. Okay, it's a break of an H. That's what it is. I can tell you because a lot of you guys might not even know what it is. Okay? Tip number 3, okay, I look for supply and demand. That's a very powerful tool of mine, okay? Tip number 4, I use a lot of trend lines, and I literally go in progression to show you guys step by step exactly what I do. What's my IG? My personal IG is at Josh Cashflow. Option Stylist is the name of the company. I'll type it for you guys. Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out. We actually have a challenge coming up next week if you guys want to check it out as well.
Now, what would you tell a beauty professional? Because I got a lot of beauty professionals in my community.
Great question. This is what I'll tell you. And this is why trading is actually perfect for you. Okay. Most beauty professionals, their busy time is usually towards the afternoon and evenings, except for weekends. Okay. If you just say, I'm going to trade for 2 hours a day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to 11 a.m. Eastern time every single day until I get good, within a few months, and that's if you only did that, you didn't do anything else except for dedicate that 1.5 hours. If you dedicated more time, you'll move a lot faster. Within a few months, you're going to have a skill that makes you money when you wake up without doing any hair. And after a while, you're going to get addicted to trading. I know because it happened to me. You're going to get addicted to trading. You're going to be turning clients away. Am I supposed to say that? Seriously, I've seen people literally say, oh, I'm supposed to do something, but dang, the market is over right now. They're going to have to wait because the opportunity is just there. So I always say supplement the 2 skills, right? How much is it going to cost you to do a haircut or you know, fix somebody's hair? It might be $250. If y'all really fancy, I might charge $1,000 to do somebody's shape up, okay? I don't get haircuts for $1,000. I don't got it like that, but some people do. If you spend 2 hours in the market, you make $300-500, you can be done for the day. You might not have to do hair that day. You might take the day off, or you can hire staff. So it's all about finding ways to leverage your time and make your life easier, right? And if you can spend 1 or 2 hours a day learning a new skill, making some extra income, making 5 figures a month doing this, which is actually the goal. When you start making 5 figures a month, it starts becoming really fun, okay? Because you run out of ways to spend 10, 15 grand a month pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Now, when do you all tell them when y'all meet in the community?
So in the community, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to 12 noon Eastern time on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Okay. Now, who would you say is do you remember Michael Bilkin?
Michael Bilkin. No, you have to remind me.
Insider trader. You may be too young for him.
Chin, don't show your age here, Chin. Don't show your age, Chin. Yeah, I might be too young. I don't know. Insider trading. Yeah. Insider trading is a thing. And even in the options market, you will see that insider trading is actually a thing. Like there was a stock that went up like 2,000% or something like that. It was even wilder than like 10,000%. The options contract went up 10,000%. Like literally, if you put $500 into that trade the night before, you'd have woke up a millionaire, like that type of thing. So stuff like that to me, if you got in before that, that to me, you need something. Somebody told you something, and I need to get into those rooms to learn so I can learn a little bit something too. But you don't have to be an insider trader to have massive moves.
Ty Bailey said, what's the risk?
Oh my gosh, this risk word, guys. Okay. You mean what information do I need to know to minimize my risk? Okay, I got you. I got you. So the risk is whatever money you put into the options trade, that's how much you can lose. So for example, when you go buy a house, they ask you for a deposit, an EMD. Okay. That EMD, if you walk away from the house after signing that paper, the most you can lose is that EMD. They're not going to chase you down and say, you have to buy this house, Chin. And the same thing with options. The most you can lose is what you put in. So if you put $200, the most you can lose is $200. If you put in $1,000, the most you can lose is $1,000, the way we teach it. Does that make sense?
Now, tell them about the contract, the most you can win versus the most you can lose if they do the contract.
So the contract can go, so the most you can make is unlimited, right? There's no cap to it. If it keeps going up, your profits keep going up. The most you can lose is what you put in. I'll give you a perfect example. We got into AMD, like I told you last week, those contracts, or 2 weeks ago, those contracts went up 1,000%, okay, within 2 weeks. So whatever money you put in, you 10x'd it. Now you're not gonna get those every day, but if I put in $1,000 and you made $10,000 in 2 weeks, that's not a bad day at the office. The other time we got into Amazon for $300, and within a month it turned to 30 grand, right? So you can get those type of results with options trading. But the most you can ever lose is the $300 you put in. So you can see how the risk to reward is already stacked in your favor. The most you can lose is what you put in, but you get 3, 5, 10x your money in a short period of time. With a little bit of skill, you can rig the game in your favor. And that's why I love options.
Now they understand it.
Is there, like, the worst thing I'll tell you guys to do is get educated. Like, don't take my word for it. Go look at how people are making crazy money trading options. Like, if you go to our page, like one lady last Christmas wrote her mom a $10,000 check off from options trading. Said, oh, thank you, mom. You've been my rock. I love you, mom. Very nice note. She wrote a check to her mom, $10,000. She handed it off to her mom. Like, options trading made that possible. There's a lady who paid off her student loans. She said, thank you, option snipers. I was able to pay off my student loans thanks to what I learned from you guys, okay? I just told you about one of my students that had a 50K month in profit last month. If you had a 50K month, some of y'all, I don't even know what you guys would do with that, right? So once you learn the skill set, it's all about execution. Learn the skill set and execute.
Now, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, some of the greatest of all time, when you talk about options, who would you say? You heard of George Soros?
You said George Soros? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I know who George Soros is. This guy made like $1 billion overnight. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He shorted the British pound, correct. So the greatest investor, I would say, honestly speaking, so Warren Buffett is a pretty good one. I like him. My favorite investor, honestly, of everybody is Ackman. I think his first name is Bill Ackman. He has a icon, ICAHAN. He's one of the owners of Hertz. Okay, and the reason why I like him is that he's an activist investor. Like, he will go in, he will restructure everything and then he will sell it like 2 minutes later. So you're like, oh, that's kind of like options trading. You get in on the low, you fix things up, and then you sell it really quickly. Instead with options trading, there's nothing to fix. You just get in low and you just wait for the contract to do the work. George Icon, that's what it is. That's his name.
Okay. Now you got some friends, like some partners.
Correct.
Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, so I have some partners in the business. Like I told you, it was a group of friends of us. We started trading together March, maybe in the pandemic on Zoom like this. So it's about 5 of us in total. We're trading options. We're showing people how to trade options and make money. And we all have different personalities. So I'm the day trader in a personality. I like in and out minutes, boom, boom, boom. It's 2 of us that's like that, me and Mike, okay? We like to get in and out pretty quickly when trading options. Then there's others who prefer the longer strategy. They'll get into long contracts, like a year out or 2 years out. For example, if you buy Apple stock, and here's a tip, if you have the stock, why don't you have the options too? You can have the 2-year out contract, and it's going to give you more percentage gain than the actual stock itself. So why not just get the options contract or get both? Just a little extra free gem there for you guys. But yeah, they're long-term traders. And that's what I tell people with options, there's something in there for everybody. I came from an ER background, so I like fast action. I'm used to that adrenaline. And I like the control of getting my money in and out within minutes. So I scout, I day trade. If you're more a chill person, or if you have work, or you have clients, you can get into swing trades and hold them for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks and make money. So there's different ways to make money with options trading depending on your personality type. But yeah, those are my partners. And I know you met Wasi. He's actually also my brother-in-law. Very interesting character. I didn't know who he was. I knew who he was before I married my wife, but I didn't know that was his brother. That was her brother. If I had known, we might have had to have a different conversation before we push things through. But he's a pretty cool guy as well. So yeah, that's who we are. Can you use a call option to lower your stock risk? You can use a put option to lower your stock risk. Okay, Robert Kraft. Okay, now you're getting some advanced strategies. That's called hedging. What do I mean by that? If you have 100,000 shares of Apple, okay, you think Apple is going to go up, okay? What you can do is that you can buy insurance on your 100,000. You can buy a put option. If it goes down, yeah, your stocks might lose some value, okay? But the put contract is going to make money. So usually people do a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 risk to reward ratio. What does that mean? If I'm going to put $100,000 in the stock, I'm going to have $10,000 of puts. Does that make sense? Because let's say the 100 grand of Apple drops 25%. So now your 100 grand is now 75 grand. But if Apple drops 25%, that put contract is going to go up at least 100, 200%. So now your 10 grand is 25 grand. So you're only down 5 grand overall. It's called hedging. Hopefully I didn't go too technical for you guys there. But yeah, that's how you hedge your positions.
So I think we got probably about 7 minutes left. How can they join your community? Can you tell us about that? Because I know a couple of people on here, they're going to want to join your community and learn more about you.
Great. I'll put the name of our group, Option Snipers. I would say just look us up. Check this out. Look at our videos, our stories. We have a lot of YouTube videos. Like really do a deep dive on us and options. Make sure there's something that you want to learn and you want to get into. And we'd love to have you. Book a call with one of our team members and we'll chat about it.
And it's called Option Snipers.
Correct, because we always sniping those contracts.
If you had to start over doing everything that you know now with the options, what would you do? What would you not do?
If I had to start over from zero, like I just started trading options, but I had my knowledge, I would get into options quicker. I would have done it a lot quicker and I would have dedicated more time to it earlier because the type of profits I'm enjoying now, my life would have been a lot further ahead if I had started getting that money early, because I told you guys about my wealth fund as well. So my wealth fund would have looked a whole lot different if I started trading options before than when I did. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is our page. That's Mike. He likes getting in and out of minutes as well. So we have a lot of videos, a lot of tips like how you can be a trader. Check it out. We're always posting profits and losses so you guys can see it's real, depending on your account size. You know, what I say is that just don't stay on the sideline, like get in the game. Okay? The person who started 20 years ago and the person who started today, at least they started. Don't be the one 20 years from now saying, I wish I started 20 years ago.
Now, when you've had a big win, like a real big win, can you tell us about some of them and how you felt that day?
So the biggest win, I'll tell you guys this, right? The biggest win I've ever had in a day was like 40 grand, 50 grand in one day. And what I tell people is that when that happens to you, you're going to cry. I can almost guarantee it. Your body psychologically gets triggered and you start crying because at that point in time, you know that your life is going to change forever. That's how it felt for me. So when you start making real money trading options, you're going to start having a physical response to that type of money because you're not used to getting that type of money. It's not going to feel real to you. You're just going to wake up, you're going to look at your account and say, is it still there? Oh, damn, it's still there. I really did that. Okay. So that's my biggest day. My biggest loss, I've lost $17,000 in 2.5 minutes. Okay. I was an Apple trade. I don't remember how much I put into that trade. I said, okay, Apple is doing this thing. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and I'm going to come back. That was the most expensive bathroom break of my life. I lost 17,500 in 3 minutes? I don't even think I spent 3 minutes peeing. I was literally in the bathroom. I came back and I was like, what the heck? I was like, no, what's going on? Oh my gosh. So yes, my worst day 17. Sharada's like, oh my God, yes. Trust and believe. From that day on, I held it. Okay. I did not go to the bathroom when trading.
Okay, let me go back to the option snipers. So with the option snipers, they can click on this link, correct?
Yep. So we have a challenge coming up starting next week. I'll be teaching about it. I'll be going into trading. We have like 5 whole days dedicated to it. Go ahead, click it and join. It's during the evening. It's like 6 to 7:30 p.m. If you have VIP, 6 to 7 p.m. if you're general admission. Come and check it out. Learn a little bit more about options. Learn what it's about. And if you feel it's for you, jump in. I mean, what I always tell people is like, this is a skill you would never regret learning. Because not only will you master it, you can teach your kids, your brother, your sister, and then now you're empowering a whole community to learn how to trade options. So we're going deep dive into options trading for 5 whole days, going everything about options, learning from the management. We actually interviewed 200 traders. Like, hey, what are you doing to be successful? They spilled the tea. So we went into all that as well during the event.
Okay.
Shit, that artwork behind you, I need that in my life. That just is fire.
Oh, okay. You can get it. Now, let's see. In the community, is it a Facebook community too when they join?
So it's a Discord.
What about that?
It's a Discord. It's kind of like Slack. So it's like a Discord, like Slack, where you get into the Slack. You communicate with each other, and it allows us to do audio calls and sometimes video calls where we can share our screen with you guys. So you guys what we're looking at for the day, especially for our live trading via audio. You guys can kind of hear what we're doing in real time that day. That's what we use. If you let me share, I can share my screen.
Yeah.
And show you what Discord looks like here.
Our battery is getting low, so I'm going to plug this up. So if it falls,
no worries. All right, great. So this is what a Discord looks like. If you guys can see it, they always release new features. So this is where everybody's posting their profit and losses pretty quickly. So here, so look at Zoom. He had a bad day today. Look at that. Profit and loss, 12,000. Okay. So this is showing you what people are buying and losing, what's happening in real time. Look at this, 400% on the trade, 400%, 980% on this trade. Like this person got it for $185. It turned to 900 bucks. So honestly, trading, once you get it, you got it. This person is up 233 bucks for the day. I'm 233%, $882 for the day. Actually, this is up 1141, right? Oh, FedEx. Remember I told you FedEx went up 100%?
Mm-hmm.
There you go right there, 99% on FedEx. 20 contracts, okay? So he put like about 4,000 in this. He made about 4,000 profit, give or take. And we're still in it. We're still holding this 1,000% on this, right? This person doubled their money. So this is what the Discord looks like. We have a live chat where we're talking every single day about options trading and what we're doing, things of that nature. And where's the live chat here? Here we go. We're talking about what's happening in real time. And people are still talking, 9:44 p.m. Okay, that was 15 minutes ago. It's literally like a community, and we're literally telling people what's happening, what we're looking at tomorrow, what we're going to trade. So it really is a community. And that's why I say, as a trader, like, don't trade alone. Like, find a community to trade with, learn the skill, and then go and execute in practice.
Okay. Now, is it anything else? Now, how did you come up with the name Josh Cashflow?
That's a funny story. So I'm all about cash flow. I always like cash because, honestly speaking, a 401k, as you know about my personality, I like things that I can control, right? A 401k later in the future, I can't put my mind around that. What I can't put my mind around is cash. How much cash is coming to my bank account? I can control that. I can dig that, right? So I was like, okay, I like cash flow. So my name is Josh Cashflow. It makes sense. And like I told you guys, I have a wealth fund where I'm putting money in different things to create cash flow, whether that's trucking, real estate, ATMs. Like for me, I need as much cash as possible, as quickly as possible. Options trading. Okay, and then you can put those things into your long-term investments.
You know, that options trading, it reminds me of, people have asked me about that. It reminds me of selling cocaine, almost like a drug dealer. How fast the money comes. I mean, serious. It's faster than that. And it gives you a rush out of this world.
And that's why it's addicting. And they literally set it up that way to be addicting. No, seriously, it's actually set up to be addicting. The numbers are green or red, kind of like in the casino. Like they set up these things to make you addicted. And that's what it is. Once you start making money, it's hard for you to stop. Okay. So if you're not going to stop, might as well get good at it. So you keep making money instead of losing it. That was my reasoning. So I always tell people, like, listen, once you get good at this, and once I get you to your first trade, and you make your first, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, I don't have to convince you to go back. You're going to go back on your own, because the quickest you're going to make that money is literally unparalleled. I don't think there's anything you can do that requires as less effort as making $11,000, $12,000 in 5 to 10 minutes. If you know something you can do to make 12K in 10 minutes, let me know. Like, I really want to be educated. Like, please tell me. I'm trying to find out so I can put money there. But it's very few things like option, because you're making money with money. And one of the only things in this world, one of the only resources in this world that's printed is what? Money. Money is printed. Little thing, like, you're trying to save something that the government prints every day. When the government needs more money, they don't go work. Do you see, like, Biden, shoveling snow? So like, oh, we got Americans to make more money. They literally make a phone call. Somebody turns on the printers and they print money. Like, they literally print it. So you're working and trading your hours for something that they're literally printing. And I was like, how can I print money too? Well, legally, the legal way to print money is to trade options. You're making money with money. You're literally printing money. And that's why the rush is crazy, because it can literally happen in minutes and seconds. I was watching the story of somebody the other night, and he said, "Oh, I made 35 grand trading options yesterday." 35 grand trading options, and said it very matter of fact because it can literally happen literally that quickly.
So what would you like? Anything else you want to share with us?
Great. So what I will share with you guys, honestly, is take action. Okay, and take action now. Don't think too much about it, because what's going to happen, they'll say, wow, that option stuff sounds nice, but I don't know, whatever the case may be. No, because it happens all the time. I've had enough conversations with enough people that I know what's going to happen. Some people are like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's not for me. Guys, and that attitude, you're going to be sorry in 10, 20, 30 years from now. Why not learn the skill now? Because the time is going to pass by anyways. You might as well learn the skill. Within, even if it takes you a year, that means you're horrible, like you sucked. And it took you a year to learn how to trade options, okay? After a year, you have the rest of your life to print money. You could be anywhere in the world, and all you need is Wi-Fi and a laptop. That's it. That's it, guys. Wi-Fi and a laptop. As long as I have my laptop with me, I'm good to go. If I don't have my laptop, my iPhone, I trade on my iPhone sometimes too. As long as you have something that connects to the internet, you can make money.
All right. What's your favorite hype song?
My favorite hype song? Oh my goodness. I had to think about this because what she had played today was fire. I like that song. When I'm really in the mood for like trading, I either listen to Afro beats or This Is How We Do It. Who sang This Is How We Do It? This is how we do it. Montel, was it Montel Williams?
Montel Jordan, I think.
Montel Jordan, yes, I like that.